Can acupuncture induce labor? I made videos of both of my birth stories on this channel, but one thing I didn't mention is the acupuncture I got before I went into labor, both times. So there are tons of people who say that acupuncture helped them kickstart their labor. There are also people who say that it did nothing. And if you do a little bit of internet research, you'll find studies that basically can't determine whether or not acupuncture makes a difference. So when I was pregnant with my first child, I was 40 weeks and 2 days. I decided to go and get labor-inducing acupuncture because I was delivering at a hospital-connected birth center and I would be disqualified from it if I went too far past my due date. So I scheduled an appointment and went to get acupuncture at 9 a.m. on a Monday. And at 9 p.m. on Tuesday night, 36 hours later, my contractions began. 6 hours later, I was holding my baby. When I was pregnant with my second child, I was 40 plus 1 when I decided to get acupuncture again. This time, my appointment was at 1 p.m. on a Thursday, and my contractions began shortly after 2 a.m. on Friday, just 13 hours after I began the acupuncture treatment. So was it a coincidence that I had both of my babies shortly after these acupuncture sessions, or did the acupuncture kickstart labor? It's very hard to tell because I had already passed my due date and I could have theoretically gone into labor at any time. I'd like to think that the acupuncture helped because in both instances, labor began for me on the following day. If you look at this NIH study on the topic, the study does conclude that acupuncture shows some benefit in improving cervical maturity. Another study, which was just released in February 2024, found that there was a, quote, statistically significant increase in the spontaneous onset of labor rate favoring acupuncture versus no acupuncture. And the study concluded that, quote, acupuncture may be beneficial in reducing the rate of induction of labor. Both this study and the NIH study found no correlation between maternal outcomes, for example, a reduction of the C-section rate, but both studies did indicate that acupuncture can help trigger the onset of labor. I can see why it's difficult to determine whether or not labor-inducing acupuncture has an effect. Most women will go and do this after they pass their due date. So did they go into labor because of the acupuncture or because it was already past their due date? It's hard to tell, but these studies do seem to indicate that the acupuncture does have an effect. And I'd like to think that by getting it, it was no coincidence that I went into labor on the following day, with both pregnancies. They say that babies come when they are ready to come, but sometimes there may be reasons why we might want to help speed things up naturally, like the prospect of being disqualified from a birth center, for example. That last week of pregnancy is so hard, and if you've passed your due date and you feel like you want to try a crunchy method of triggering labor, then maybe you want to look into acupuncture. The very limited studies on this topic do indicate that it can make a difference, so it may be worth a try. So is acupuncture something that you've done or that you've considered doing? Let me know. I'd love to hear your story as well. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe. I'd love it if you stuck around. Have a beautiful day, and until next time.